All right. Um. Well, we're here.
We're here.
I'm really. We're doing. Um.
Cobra
You
Kai?
click the. Yeah. We.
Yeah, we're doing that.
I'm really happy we got to do this
I
for
want to
the
fucking
channel.
read the
This was something
video.
that was a long time in the making.
Yes.
Um. This is probably one of my favorite TV shows. It is definitely a comfort show for me,
Yeah.
and and I want people to check it out and stuff. So I always wanted to do a review. And I think this is the first time ever on this channel, rebrand or not, that we're doing a TV show review.
Oh yeah. I didn't realize
So
that. It felt like a whole last movie we just watched.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, we're doing a TV show.
Yeah.
This very different. So how this is going to work for you guys is we watched the first 5 episodes,
hmm
and each season, now for which there's 4 seasons right now. Um,
Yeah, currently.
seriously hyped for season 5. But each season has 10 episodes, so you're going to see 2 reviews for each season.
Yeah.
So
So there's
right
gonna
now
be
we're gonna
eight.
have a discussion about episodes 1 through 5, and then you can come back and we're gonna talk about episodes 6 through 10
Yes.
for season 1, of course.
Uh-huh.
And then of course we're gonna do all 4 seasons. But we had a little hiccup.
Yeah.
So I had Netflix set up all ready to go
hmm
for this because Cobra Kai is only streaming on Netflix. And I had everything set up, or we're gonna do this. And I guess I don't know. It's just I guess if we can't stream on Netflix,
Yeah, we
or
tried to
I
watch.
guess any streaming service.
Basically, to explain, Jake tried to stream this to me on Discord, and apparently there's like a whole fucking copyright thing on Discord. So we had to try something else. I think we went to Google
So
Plus.
so we had to unfortunately go to YouTube Premium
Yeah.
to help us.
So
Um,
very
I
fun.
did I didn't sacrifice my soul for YouTube Premium. It's just
Yeah.
the 1 month free trial. So,
We
so
gotta do
I
this
think
done quick.
once we get to season 3, I think I'll think of something. We're either gonna meet up and watch it
Yeah.
at Matt's house, or we'll see if there's a way we can do it virtually. But I think the only route I can think of is real life. But that's season 3, and we'll have time to
We'll
think.
know like what to do by then.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, let's get started with the review.
Yes.
So you may be asking, what is Cobra Kai? And Cobra Kai is basically a sort of kind of a requel of the Karate Kid franchise. It's a direct continuation of that series, taking place 30 something years later after the original. And I will say that this might be one of the best examples of doing a requel. And you probably don't know,
Yeah.
if you probably know what a requel is. It's like a reboot / sequel, and you probably see a lot of these
Yeah.
with like Halloween, Jurassic
Yeah.
Park, Ghostbusters.
We won't talk
So,
about that
but
one.
I think this was one of the best examples of this.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, I absolutely adore this show. This is up there with one of my favorite television shows of all time, and I'm not really a TV show kind of person. But yeah, I always find myself, and it's also just such a comfort show. I always find myself just constantly re-binging this series, because it's just so good. I love it. I love the characters. I love the story. But yeah, anyway, we'll talk about episodes 1 through 5. So when we do reviews, we usually just talk about the overall plot, and well, this is a TV show. It's different.
Yeah.
Not everything just ends at the end. There's just a big overall plot, and there's just a bunch of little subplots, but they're not really. I mean, some are necessary, but I think
Yeah.
these little like mini plots that happen, they just overall the big plot.
Yeah.
And you're probably asking, never seen the show before, so what's the plot? So like I said, this takes place 30 something years later after the original Karate Kid. It's mainly in the perspective of Johnny Lawrence, who was like essentially the bad guy in the original. I say that very loosely, because there are some people who think that Daniel was the bad guy. And anyway,
Yeah, that's a topic for
taking
another day.
place. So after his defeat at the All Valley tournament in 1984, Johnny is basically washed up. He's pretty much, he feels utterly defeated. He feels like everything, like because he lost, it just his whole life just went downhill. Excuse me. So he's trying to. He lives in a crappy apartment. He has a crappy car. He has pretty much a low wage job, I should say, and which is kind of ironic because in the original Karate Kid, Johnny was the rich kid. So Johnny loses his job, and he pretty much, he's kind of like he feels like he's at his low, basically. He finds himself outside outside a convenience store, just eating a convenience store pizza, just sitting like he's homeless. And then he sees an altercation between Miguel and this like teenage kid and a bunch of other teenagers, being douchebags and stuff, typical teenage bullying and stuff. And once he gets on the car, once Miguel is hit, they throw him to they push him to Johnny's car, and then he starts to intervene. And he gets involved. He gets into an altercation, and he's arrested and let out by his stepdad, who when he meets up with his stepdad, he basically gives him a check saying, like, I'm buying you out of my life. I can't deal with you anymore. And his stepdad's an ass.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to see what happened to Daniel after the original Karate Kid, and he, same thing with the irony is he is rich and successful. He owns a car dealership. He lives in a nice house. He drives a nice car. He's got a family. So yeah, and in the original Karate Kid, Daniel was living in a crappy apartment and his mom was struggling to make ends meet. And Johnny he does not like Dan. I think he pretty much just blames him for his downhill, basically, that he lost to him. And and he drives down to the All Valley Sports Arena where that fight, the tournament took place, and his car gets totaled by Yasmin, Moon, and Sam, which he didn't know was Daniel's daughter. And they pretty much drive off, and he has to know, and his car is towed to the Russo Auto. So, and he's obviously not happy with that. So, they fix his car, but you kind of see, and because of what happened with that dealership, he decides to open up Cobra Kai with the money that his stepdad gave him.
Yeah.
The ripped up check. So yeah, and the thing with the probably the main focus of the show is this rivalry between Johnny and Dan. It's all about, they're always doing, even just with 5 episodes, and you can tell like there's always there's serious beef between them, and and they always just do something just to escalate it instead of But with Cobra Kai opening, Daniel, who has pretty much a lot of beef with Cobra Kai for what they did in Karate Kid 1 and Karate Kid 3, he will do everything he can in his power to stop it.
Yeah.
Because he knows how dangerous their philosophy is of strike first, strike hard, no mercy. So, yeah. There's a lot that... Oh, and I forgot to mention that Johnny does take Miguel, the kid, under his wing, and I consider Miguel like there's not really a main character per se because it gives focus to a lot of characters. I will say Miguel is pretty much sort of. I feel like he's like the central protagonist of in terms of like the next generation sort of cast.
Yeah.
Do you agree? Because he's pretty much the Daniel because when that they were that him and Miguel were like the new kids that just moved in and they find their like sort of they both got bullied and they're both resort to having to learn karate to get that confidence and to stand up for themselves sort of thing. So
yeah,
he's pretty much this generation's Daniel, and I will say that Miguel is probably my favorite character in the new cast, and I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the shit that this kid goes through, like going forward with the seasons, like he goes through a lot, and he's one of my favorite characters. And my second favorite character in terms of like the new cast, who we see is Eli, but I'm not going to spoil anything, but he goes on to become, he gets better each season, Eli. Each season he just becomes better and better. And Eli, he's like a side character, but the only thing I'll spoil is over time he becomes like the main character, which happens to actually a lot of the side characters. They just progress and become the main character.
Yeah,
which, like I said before we started recording, is like it's such a interesting thing to like when you watch a TV show and you go back to the original first season and you see just how much the characters have changed and developed, and it's just such a cool thing because it feels like you watched them kind of grow. Well, because you literally did, but like you know what I mean, like that.
Yeah.
But so yeah, a lot of stuff does happen, like throughout these 5 episodes. You have like, of course, this escalation of their beef. You have Johnny just trying to, with opening Cobra Kai, he tries to basically try to bring himself back up, and he has a son who he basically like never saw. He was basically like the runaway dad kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he's trying to and everyone's trying to tell him, well, his baby mama's trying to tell him like like it's too late. Like the kid's 16. Like 2 years he's gonna be an adult. Like can't like it's like too late. And he's trying to do now. And he kind of takes this like father sort of thing with Miguel, and like an overall and definitely an overall theme of Karate Kid was always about fatherhood. Like Daniel always saw Mr. Miyagi as a father because he never had a father, and that's just and it's a good message, I think.
Yeah.
Like you don't really need to. You can always have like that father figure.
Yeah.
Think. That's what. And of course, there's a lot of escalation between Johnny and Daniel's beef. Johnny spray painting a giant dick on the billboard, and then you have Daniel like pretty much talking with the landlords just to get their rent up. Like it's stuff like these small things that just escalate the rivalry between these two. That yeah, and of course see the and like I said, like a lot does happen in these 5 episodes. But like I said, it's just these small things that just build up to the bigger picture, I should say.
Yeah.
So yeah, we can just talk. I know we don't usually do this with reviews, but like I'll just have the floor for you because I've talked. And So we don't usually do this for reviews, and we can with this. But like, so you got a favorite character so far? I know this has like been like the first 5 episodes, but like, you have a favorite character? Like,
God, I don't know.
it can be older, you know, like you can just
Like, I kind of like all of them, honestly.
yeah,
Some more than
the only
others.
I think I when I was because we had our mics on when we were watching them. The characters I don't like are Kyler, Sam, and Robbie. I do not like those
Kylo,
because
Sam, and who?
Robbie,
Robbie. Who's that one again?
he's Johnny's son.
Oh, okay.
I don't like those three. I, I will say that over time, like Sam and Robbie do get better as characters, but I just still don't like them. I can't really see with the thing with like Miguel and Eli for me is I see more relatability in them,
Yeah.
and I think that's just what gravitates me towards them. But with like, and I of course Kyler is he's just so unlikable because he is like, first of all, he intentionally bullies kids who are weak and defenseless because he's like, you know, he's just a prick.
Yeah.
And he also he's just super petty and like he's just stereotypical douchebag high school bully stuff. Like you've seen it before. Like,
Even in high school.
like just pretending to be like vulnerable just so he can get to like second base and you know all that.
Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Very epic.
But yeah, and what's with these 5 episodes is that you really start to. It's pretty much if you're looking for something that's like super action packed right away and like a bunch of very energizing, like these first 5 episodes might not be for you, but they are essential if you want to continue because it's taking its time to pretty much build the world that it's developing and pretty much developing the plot and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I can understand like why people would see episode 1 as kind of like, you know, a drag or something, but like once the show picks up, it picks up.
Yeah.
And it gets really good.
Like I'm someone who has like a shitty ass attention span, and the entire time, well, along with the occasional look at my phone, but like the whole time I was just like, damn, the fuck's gonna happen? Like this is epic.
Yeah.
Like I was entertained the whole first episode. Like it wasn't boring to me at all.
Yeah, like there's like with this show I like there's not much I can say like negatively about it. Like I feel like it does everything like near perfect.
Yeah. I think the only thing that's cheesy to me is like the timing. It's like, oh, of course his son was there. That's spoilers, but like
you're gonna see that you're gonna see that a lot with this. A lot of honestly, a lot of these conflicts are just misunderstandings.
Speaking of timing, Gup just hopped on the air hockey table. I'm gonna have to deal with that, but you continue.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what like I was saying.
I will be right back.
It's basically like a lot of the conflicts on their show are just basically misunderstandings that pretty much in a realistic sense could have all been solved if they just sat down and talked about their feelings. But yeah, I mean, like, you know, I think, and with this show too is there are not only is it very action packed, but it's also very funny. I never there was just a lot of moments in the show that I just started busting out laughing. Even though I've re-binged this show like so many times, I was still laughing. Even though I knew the line was coming, I still couldn't help myself. Like, just some of the main sort of character trait about Johnny is he is Gen X. He is a Gen X, like, he knows no clue about technology. He has no understanding about like modern. He's essentially just the whole thing is he's basically just stuck in the 80s, basically.
Yeah.
Like because because that's when he felt like those were his glory days, sort of
Yeah.
thing. So, it's just a lot of comedy with him is just absolutely just so good. I just love how he just has no clue about some of the a lot of gender terminology, and he's just like, what?
He's like, what is this fairy tale shit?
I know. I just, it just there's and the action too. Like when there's not much action in these first five because, like I said, it's just setting up. But when there's action, the action's good.
Yeah.
We ended off on a pretty good fight scene when, in the cafeteria, which everyone's probably seen.
Yeah.
I first saw that fight scene in a Doom music meme way back when.
I've seen a couple of clips from the show. Like, I saw a huge spoiler one, so I know what happens to one of the characters later on. But
I bet when you saw the actor, you're like, oh shit, oh no.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's the one who falls. Oh
no.
Yeah, so I know what happens with him.
I got spoiler warning.
Yep.
But yeah, it's just so funny that I saw that Doom music meme and I was like, you know what? I'm bored right now, so I'm gonna go check it out, and it just clicked with me. I'm very passionate about the show. I love the show. It made me go watch the Karate Kid movies, even though I had very little knowledge about.
I like how so many memes someone made was like, I'm gonna watch this whole ass series.
I know, it's just so.
I love the contrast.
And another good thing about this show is that you can watch the show without having no knowledge of Karate Kid.
Yeah, I've only watched select clips from the original Karate Kids as well.
I know, and they show you flashbacks, and they show them in a way that you understand the context without even having to watch the actual movies.
I do vaguely understand what's going on, and I assume everything's referenced.
when I first watched this, I never saw any of the sequels or anything, or I only remember bits of the original, but I understood what was going on basically. Yeah. That's just what's so good about it. Just everything about this show is just absolutely just brilliant, and we had a good sample with the first 5 episodes, and I honestly can't wait to see 6 or 10 because I think that's when honestly, in my opinion, once like I said, once the show gets on its footing, it runs. It doesn't walk. It runs, and you're with it.
Yeah, I honestly like where the show is headed. It seems great.
Yeah, and it's just gonna keep getting better and better. And what's so interesting is that with this show, there isn't a bad season. I feel and let me rephrase, there isn't a season, you could argue, if one season is weak or something, just weaker than the others, but that's not a bad, that doesn't mean the show's bad. That season is bad, it's just, this season's just higher up than that one, but it's still really good.
Yeah. I think it's good if every series would have its first season be the worst and its last season be the best. That means the show's good.
Yeah, but this isn't gonna be. Season 4 dropped in December. As of when we were recording this, it's March. Season 4 just dropped a couple months ago, New Year's Eve.
Yeah, so we were planning on doing it then, but things got in the way.
Once we get to season 4, holy shit. It's been a couple months and I really want season 5. That's just how good the show is. You want more.
Yeah.
Because when I first binged the show, I watched it with my dad, and I had to wait for my dad. My dad works. Some nights he doesn't. He works overnight, so I would have to wait for him, and I would just be so anxious, and so tempted. I'm just I'd be just so tempted to watch it without him.
Yeah.
But I hold on. It's just because it gravitates you and it gets you just so invested.
Yeah, like I haven't had a show that like I paid attention to like weekly until like I think last time I paid attention to a show like this was like Total Drama Island all the way back in 2008. Like, I haven't had a show I pay attention to. I mean, I have catching up to do, but like I can't wait.
Yeah.
Like I can't wait until next session when we do this.
I know it's gonna go down, and I'm all for it. Like it's so I feel this. I will say, I do think that I don't mean to hype you up or anything, but I definitely enjoy the second half better. I think one of my favorite episodes in season 1 is episode what is it?
7.
It's either 7 or 8. Honestly, I forget the listing, and I'm gonna check when I re-binge it again later on after I watch Moon Knight.
That's the thing as well too.
In terms of my re-binge, I'm on season 3 right now. I think I'm halfway into season 3. I watch it like every night.
Oh my god.
But you know, that's just what comfort shows are like.
Yeah.
You know,
you
have a whole discussion about that. A podcast, just comfort shows, and
exactly.
You know, you don't want to watch anything new. You want to watch what stuff you like and you're familiar with.
Like for me, that's just some YouTube videos as well. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So, is there anything else you'd like to say?
I think the thing about you saying like, the later half of the season is the best. Like, I'm not surprised at all. Like I said, like to me, the episodes just kept getting better. I realize this is the warm up, and it's supposed to be doing that, but generally, like I wouldn't be opposed to like rewatching each episode just to like notice anything different, just to like try and scope.
That's what like I said, I've re-binged it so many times, so like
basically I know everything. Could make like a full analysis video.
And it's also just some of those like just smaller like detail jokes now that just kind of get like a good chuckle out of me. Like, a lot of my favorite like sort of like talking like jokes is with Anthony, the son, Daniel's son. Like I said, I think just one of the reasons why I refer to my episode 7 and 8. Like I don't mean to spoil, but he has a banter with a character, and I'm not gonna say who it is, like because like I said, I want to be a surprise. Like but there's just this banter that happens with him that's just so fucking funny that it just makes me die laughing every time. But I like the one in the country club with the other kid, and he was like, it's like, yeah, so my dad owns buildings. He's like, yeah, so mine owns cars. And the other kid's like, well, my dad makes more money than your dad. And Anthony goes, well, my dad knows karate, and he can kill your dad. Like, it's just those little things that just send me.
Oh my god, okay. That is a funny scene. Like, the show's comedy is like up there. I can tell.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I've talked about this before, how important like tone is, and you know, when this show wants to get lighthearted, it will get lighthearted, and then when the show gets serious, it gets serious.
Yeah.
Like I said with No Way Home, like, you know, like it doesn't like there isn't like jokes that just ruin a moment or something. Like it knows when to be serious, and it knows when it can have a joke.
I can definitely appreciate that, because like there's shows where that just don't do good at all.
Like
from what I've been told, but I don't watch shows that much.
One thing I just don't like when it comes to like comedy, when stuff like I'm also not saying this is a comedy driven show. It's very much action packed, but like it does have. You could argue like comedy is definitely like an element.
Comedy in the show.
I'm not trying to say. What I mean is like I'm not trying to say like don't come in.
No.
When you're checking out the show, like don't come in like being like, oh, like a comedy, like you're not like there's some elements that you should be taking seriously.
Yeah, I think everyone knows what you're trying to talk about. I'll just say for you, the show is a comedic genius, and I think this is a good comedy.
You know what? I will say it is like some of the comedy is just absolutely just in these first 5 episodes alone.
The show really does have.
I think
everything.
Honestly, I think in terms of like comedy, I think the funniest episode thus far we watched in this season was definitely with the Billboard episode 4. I think there's so many.
My favorite part about that is like when he saw like that other guy's sign, and it's like, oh my god,
yeah, he goes
big.
like, oh, it's huge,
it's so big, but he didn't see his sign yet. So his wife was just like, what?
Okay, then. And like you have like Tom Cole.
Yeah.
See subplots, and he's just like he orders Daniel. He sends us 100 sausages, and he puts like a special request in the order that you like them long and thick.
My fucking god, it's so good, so good.
It's like, but yeah, like when we usually do reviews, we do ratings at the end, but we can't. Like, why would we rate the first 5 episodes? And so we're gonna once the season ends, we're gonna do a rating, kind of like.
Should we also do spoilers as well?
Yeah, we'll do. Well, this is kind of a spoiler talk anyway. It's just I think I'm trying to think because it's like this isn't like a movie sort of thing where you have like something major. I mean, I will. Okay, I can't say that, but I'm not saying like anything like super. Okay, I can't say that either.
Should we just save the spoilers for like the end of the season episodes?
Okay.
So we talk about like shit that happens from this half and the next half.
I mean, we can. There isn't really much to spoil with these first 5 episodes. There's nothing really huge. I mean, I think we can. I'm pretty sure I've said already like everything major.
I think like
it's
the biggest.
This isn't real. Okay, I'll be happy. Oh, okay, I'll say it. This half isn't really spoiler driven, like spoiler heavy. Like just there's not really a big sort of thing that would be considered a spoiler, but yeah, sorry. But if you like
disliking the video now. Fuck this. I'm unsubscribing. They didn't spoil the fucking show for me. Fuck you.
Yeah, we spoiled. Yeah. But like, I think the second half is when you kind of have some major sort of bombshells, sort of.
Oh yeah.
I should say.
I am anticipating.
That's what I mean. It's like that's what I mean. Like it's just. All right, so I'll break it down. Like so, the half we just did is kind of like light to like no spoilers at all.
Mm-hmm.
But the second half is like when we have. So we'll with that second half we'll do a spoiler disclaimer.
Yeah.
Because that one has more stuff go down.
Kind of just like what we did with Spider-Man, the last one specifically. We'll do a non-spoiler section, and then we'll put like a time code in.
So this will be the non-spoiler section because not much really major happens. That's like a spoiler or anything.
And then we will eventually talk about. I don't think
anyone's going to be upset. Like, oh my god, I can't believe you spoiled that Johnny was the one who spray painted the billboard. Like,
oh my god, really?
You probably knew he. You obviously know he didn't. Like, it's not like something like a big mystery or they like anything. So it's like, so with that, when we get to like the heavier half of the seasons, we will put a spoiler.
Yeah.
Which is usually the second half anyway. So.
And we'll try and avoid long episodes unless something major happens. Yeah.
I don't think the episodes go beyond 40 minutes. I should say. I don't think they go beyond
like the actual review videos.
Oh.
Because we've been known to.
Because I don't want to drag.
Honestly, however long it takes, like, I honestly don't care, but I'm just, like, saying, like, oh, who cares?
Yeah, but I'm like... Yeah, and another thing is, like, we didn't want to do a review per episode because that would just be really tedious, and there wouldn't be. They would honestly be like 5-minute videos at the max anyway.
Yeah, especially for this
It
half of the season.
Yeah, so it would just be like, oh, this is what happens, and
It's like, okay, thanks for
was it good?
watching.
Yeah, okay.
Okay,
Next
thanks for
episode.
watching.
Yeah, so
Make sure you guys like and sub.
I and this isn't also something like with Marvel or something that's like it's kind of like too late to get into. I'm trust me, guys. I'm trying to think of a way to get anyone into the Marvel movies. I'm just trying to. I kind of have a plan in mind, but like I kind of it's a lot of like
It's
process of elimination
time
and just
management,
movies.
planning.
So yeah, once I figure it out, I'm gonna do a video similar to the Halloween Timelines video. You should go check that out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the same thing where it's
Link
like
right here, if I remember.
I'll talk about. Well,
The
I'm not gonna talk
timeline.
about like, the whole lore of the MCU. Like, oh, this is the whole lore, and I'm just gonna be like these are the films. I think I'm gonna tell you all the movies, and I'm gonna tell you which ones you should watch. And then I'll explain why. And that'll be pretty much it. Just
simple as that.
but with unlike Marvel, you can start Cobra Kai right now and you can get caught up.
Yeah.
It's a binge show, so you can finish if you have the time. You can finish a season in like a couple hours.
Yeah.
That's what Netflix shows. They're all just binge focused. And
yeah, I think, don't they all like mass drop?
yeah, they all mass drop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, unlike Disney Plus shows, they drop them weekly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's better.
I just have to make a mental note of myself since it's almost like 4 a.m. where we are, and
Yeah.
Night's been out. I just can't go on anywhere. I don't want to be spoiled.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's the first episode. Like, I'm not being spoiled on this. But yeah, this was a good chunk of season. Really looking forward to checking out the other half with you.
Yeah.
I'm really glad you enjoyed this.
Yeah.
It's not often where we have something that you like a lot. It's usually when we've had a couple times in a row where we've enjoyed, but like I remember like a lot of it is just you just being like, oh, it's alright. Like, but I'm really glad you're invested.
Yeah, I don't think I've like disliked anything all that much. There were definitely times when I was like, oh, that was alright.
Yeah.
But I pretty much enjoyed like the majority of the things a lot to a degree. But yeah, I think this is shaping up to be like one of my favorite series we've reviewed on the channel.
I know, and it's what a way to start off a TV show. Like,
we had to do
TV
something
show
that like I thought, which is funny.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we watch Young Blood at some point.
Yeah. And I thought we could be able to do more shows, but with this streaming thing nonsense. But maybe we'll, once we.
It's a complicated thing, but we'll figure it out.
So yeah. Cobra Kai.
That's gonna do it.
I highly recommend. If you just want to follow along with us, just watch the first 5 episodes and
then wait
you
like 5.
Approach the show however you want. It's highly recommended. Like
So
with these first 5 episodes, you're gonna get a good taste of what the show's about, and it's gonna keep you wanting more.
Yeah, watch the show alongside with us. Now you guys will have to wait another 5 months until we review the second batch. Maybe another 5 years. Never know. But yeah,
I think it's gonna take us 5 months to get to season 3. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised.
If we just if we just commit to our schedules.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
I'm down. I'm down whenever. So
yeah.
This this was pretty easy to set up. It wasn't anything too complicated or
Yeah.
anything. So
The unfortunate thing is, like, I was like, so do we want to do a commentary video? Unfortunately, I did start to do one, but the fucking frame rate on Discord, I don't know what it was. It was just like, it was 5 frames per second at most at some points. It's watchable, but like, it was so, it was not good for a video at all. So we'll just continue
yeah,
with this, but someday we will do
I feel
a
like that's just
commentary
gonna happen
video.
when you use. I think it's just that's with like any mobile device. It's just
Yeah,
when you do video streaming.
yeah,
I feel
but
like
yeah. With that said, we will be doing commentary videos over the movies at some point. Now I don't know when. I don't
yeah,
know
we'll try to
what.
avoid the copyrights and stuff.
Yeah,
I know, like I mentioned that I wanted. Um, I mean, I know it's not in everyone's best interest because no one cares, but like I was like, the only thing I could do for that we could fully upload a commentary is if we do a public domain film.
yeah,
And one of my favorite silent horror films, Nosferatu, just turned 100 not too
yeah,
long ago. And we could do a sort of commentary where I just talk about the movie or just talk about anything in general, really, and while we talk about and have like while we're watching the movie.
yeah,
And and if we do that, maybe we would have it do a live stream.
yeah.
When they're gonna do
Maybe.
copyright strike a public domain
Yeah.
video,
Fucking
a public
idiots.
domain film
The creators of this are
that has
dead.
copyright. So yeah, if you guys want to see that,
Yeah,
be
let us
down.
know. I mean, I doubt anyone made it this far into the video, but you know what?
Yeah, yeah,
Future me, when you're making it to this part, let me know, and I'll get back to you at some point. Just
yeah.
kidding,
So
I won't. Fuck you.
that being said, um,
We'll see you guys
like I
next
said,
time,
yep.
and we're gonna go jerk off now. Bye.